Hi warriors, and welcome back to my channel. Or, if you're new here, hi, I'm Hannah. I'm 24 years old and I post videos about eating disorder recovery, mental health, and a whole lot more. Today, I'm back for a quick-fire Q&A, answering all of the many questions that I recently received in Instagram question and answer, where there was just too many to get around to them all. Yes, there were a lot of questions, ranging from exercise and recovery, facing fear foods, added sugars, and a whole lot more. Find the timestamps in the description below. So, are you ready? Have you pressed that big red subscribe button below? The thumbs up? Have you got yourself a nice hot drink and are comfortably settled on your sofa? If so, let's do this. Hi warriors, and I hope... So, warriors, I hope you're at the edge of your seats, because I definitely am. With the massive amount of questions I received, I've decided to divide them into broader topics just to make it easier for you to find your most pressing concerns. Before I got around to that though, I brewed myself a delicious matcha latte. And I recommend you do the same. Get yourself a snack and or a drink and then rush back here before I finish my introduction rambles. As I just mentioned, as my drink of choice today, I've got myself a matcha latte. Why a matcha latte? 1, because it's lovely and warming, and 2, because I recently received it in the post from TEAMI, and I've been trying different recipes with it and absolutely loving it. I'd actually been looking for a good quality matcha for some time, so this was a godsend. I'll leave my affiliate link below and a discount code so you can get some ching ching off the price. Anyway, if you've got your drink, if you've got your snack, if you're all settled, let's get to the content. So the first category of questions pertains to fear foods and challenging the eating disorder. How do I challenge 2 eating disorder habits in one day? How do I change my mindset and maintain my recovery motivation? And how do I get over the fear of added sugars? These can all be answered using a similar approach. Step number 1, make yourself a list with all of your fear foods. Don't leave any of them out. Honestly, be very thorough and be very open with yourself. Then, 2, plan these fear foods into your day and into your week. Plan multiple ones into a day and repeat them over the course of the next weeks and months so that you really expose yourself to them repeatedly, as often as you possibly can. After all, it's repeated exposure that's going to make the fear less and less over time, and it's going to help you kick the eating disorder in the butt. Step number 3, even if this sounds really challenging, hold yourself accountable and maybe inform a friend or a family member that you're doing this so they can hold you accountable. Then, when you're really struggling and you're finding it really hard, at least you have someone to turn to and someone that can really push you when you most need it. If you're unwilling to get anyone else involved, definitely write down your fear foods into your agenda or in your meal plan if you have one, because if it's there, written down, that too can really help in holding yourself accountable. Don't back down. 4, understand that, yes, it will be difficult. It will be uncomfortable. And the eating disorder will shout at you at the top of its lungs. However, that doesn't mean you should listen to it, and it doesn't mean you should back away. The discomfort, the anxiety, the uncertainty, the racing thoughts, it is only temporary, and you need to remember that. Choosing to listen to the eating disorder, however, that can ruin a lifetime. To deal with the anxiety, feel free to distract yourself. Read a book, watch a film, learn a new language, whatever you can do to keep your thoughts busy. And, importantly, remind yourself of your recovery goals. I suggest you write these down, whether it be living a more stress-free life, being able to travel or eat certain foods without guilt, going out for a meal with friends or family, anything like that. Especially when you're struggling, Remind yourself of these goals and remind yourself why you have to eat your fear foods to get to these goals. Repeat them to yourself regularly. Ingrain them in your memory. As I said before, the next step is just to repeat this over and over and over until your goals are completely stuck in that head of yours and until the fears are completely gone. As an extra tip, maybe try to buy certain foods without looking at the nutrition label, or buy certain foods that don't even have a nutrition label. This is especially helpful if you're really struggling with fat content or sugar content in food. Yes, the eating disorder will shout at you, but that voice will get quieter and quieter over time. I also received another related question about dealing with guilt post-meals, especially if you didn't even really enjoy eating the fear food. For me, I know that personally, if I didn't enjoy a certain food, I'd feel especially bad for eating it. However, this is quite silly, really. You should be able to eat anything and everything, and yes, some foods you might like more than others, but you should be able to eat them both without guilt. Food is not something you should feel guilty about. So again, if you ate a food that made you feel guilty for eating it, sit with the anxiety and move on. Your body needs it. Your mind needs it. Over time, it will get easier. The next massive batch of questions, pretty much all related to exercise in eating disorder recovery, and particularly coping with not being able to exercise whilst at school or whilst in lockdown at the moment, with the gyms mostly just closed. Again, I think this is a matter of exposure. Accept and acknowledge the discomfort and sit with it. Over time, again, it'll get less and less. Acknowledge that it might in fact be good for your body and for your mind not to exercise, in order for you to heal and for the eating disorder to slowly but surely head off. By not exercising, you will also find out through experience that you won't suddenly gain loads of weight or that your appearance won't suddenly change all that much. It is finding out these things through experience that will also help you rationalize things and overcome some maladaptive beliefs that you may currently hold. The same goes with eating. Eating a cookie won't suddenly make you put on 10 pounds. Trust me. Anyway, over time, the eating disorder voice will become quieter and you will be able to tune in to your own inner voice. In turn, you'll be able to exercise, not because something inside of you is telling you that you must, but just because you want to and because you feel like it. Once you reach that stage, you know you'll have reached a healthy relationship with exercise. I received another question that I felt was somewhat linked to exercise, namely, how to deal with negative body image after weight restoration, and how to handle being at a higher, healthier weight. Again, acceptance. When I was in hospital in Belgium, we did mirror exercises where we were forced to look at ourselves in front of a mirror from all angles for a set period of time. And whilst this was very difficult, I think for me personally, it did help me come to terms with what I did look like and how my body was changing. I also practiced positive self-affirmations regularly and reminded myself of how my new, healthier body allowed me to do so much more than the sick body would ever allow me to do. If you have only just reached your new healthy weight, also remember that this may still redistribute to some extent and that bodies are simply meant to change over time. Focus on your goals, your real goals, and realize that your appearance really won't make much of a difference. It won't be all that memorable in 10, 20 years' time. The third section of this video is all about me. The first question was about my weight, and the weight gain journey that I'm currently on. How has your weight gain journey been this month? And does your weight fluctuate a lot? To answer that question, I'm going to refer back to my eating disorder days and say that in relation to that, I don't think my weight fluctuates all that much. Whilst I was on an active weight gain journey for my eating disorder, it was all over the place and it was quite normal because my body was coming to terms with more food, water retention, and all of that fun stuff. However, even when you're at a healthy weight, at your target weight, at your set point weight, weight still fluctuates to some extent. Probably about a kilo or two on either side. And that is fine. You barely even notice it anyway. However, what has my weight been doing lately? To be honest, I don't really know. I don't have any scales, and when I made my open and honest video about the recent weight loss, I only really found out my weight because I checked on the scales at the gym. Now that I haven't been going to the gym for quite some time, I'm as clueless as you are. However, my clothes fit well, I'm feeling quite good in and with my body at the moment, and I'm actively trying to eat as much as I comfortably can. So hopefully it's going the right way. I also received a question about my work and what I'm currently doing. At the moment, I've got a very psychology related job working as a therapy care worker in an extreme risk-taking residency with children who self-harm. It can be quite a challenging job, but also a very rewarding job. So yeah, that's what I'm up to at the moment. Question number 1000. How do I interpret food freedom? Food freedom, to me, means eating whatever and whenever I want. It means listening to my cravings. And if that means eating chocolate pie every single day for a week, that is part of food freedom. Cravings change over time, and your body will tell you what it needs if you tune in to its cravings. Food freedom in a nutshell. To wrap this up, the final question of this video: what are my goals for 2021? To name just a few, I aim to meditate more regularly, so at least once a week, because I know this really helps me become more mindful and less stressed. Also, to reduce my stress and my anxiety levels, I aim to take more breaks. I'm quite good at taking my breaks at work and going for a walk, and I'm going to try to do the same when I'm working from home. I also am hoping to incorporate one day a month, at least, of not doing anything really. No social media marketing, no YouTube, no work. I know this one's going to be tricky, but goals aren't necessarily meant to be easy. Lastly, I hope to have more quality time with my friends and my family post-COVID. I haven't seen my dad since Christmas 2019, so I definitely hope to spend more time with them. Cheers to that. Somehow, I feel like I've been recording for ages and I've still only got around to about half, if even, of the questions that I received. However, fear not. I'm planning to do another video like this with another hot drink or another snack next week, and I'm planning to make this into more of a regular occurrence, potentially with themes and hopefully with a more exciting title than the kinds of things that I've brainstormed so far. So if you have any questions of your own, and especially if you have any exciting name suggestions for these weekly Q&As, definitely let me know below. Otherwise, it'll probably be Q&A Thursday or Ask Me Monday, and they seem a little bit boring. Brownie points to whoever comes up with the best title. That'll be it for this week. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you haven't liked this video, if you haven't left your comment, do all of these things right now. I will be waiting, I will be checking. I love you guys lots. See you next week. Be sure to acquire some of your own matcha. Discount code below. See you soon.